Have you ever wondered what it's like to visit a loved one behind bars? The experience, far from the Hollywood portrayal, is a complex web of emotional turmoil and logistical nightmares. Visiting a family member or friend in prison is a journey of hidden struggles, a road often paved with anxiety, heartache, and frustration. Imagine the anticipation of seeing a loved one, only to be met with the cold, harsh reality of a prison environment. The sterile surroundings, the unyielding procedures, and the ever-present watchful eyes of authority. It's a world far removed from everyday life, a stark reminder of the life-altering consequences of incarceration. And yet, despite these challenges, millions of people undertake this journey every year, driven by love, loyalty, and the human need for connection. The struggles they face are as diverse as they are profound, each one a poignant reflection of the complexities of the prison system itself. Now let's delve into the top 10 struggles faced during prison visits, starting with number 10. At number 10, we have the struggle of distance and travel. For many families and friends of inmates, visiting their loved ones is no simple task. The journey can often be long and arduous, especially when prisons are located in remote areas, far from city centers or public transportation routes. This distance becomes not just a physical barrier, but also an emotional one, establishing a sense of disconnect between the inmate and the outside world. Moreover, the cost of travel can be substantial. Whether it's fuel for a long drive, a bus or train ticket, or even an overnight stay in a motel, these expenses can add up quickly. Traveling for hours, sometimes even days, is not only physically exhausting, but it also takes a toll on the traveler's time, often requiring time off work or other commitments. The journey to visit a loved one can often be a struggle on its own. Coming in at number 9 is the struggle of limited visitation rights. It's a convoluted puzzle of red tape that families and friends must navigate. Often prisons have restrictive visitation policies that can be quite difficult to understand. There are rules dictating who can visit, how often they can visit, and even what they can wear during visits. Furthermore, visiting hours are usually limited and rigid, often falling within inconvenient times. This makes it difficult for those who have jobs or other responsibilities. And if you're thinking of bringing a group to visit, think again. The number of visitors allowed per visit is typically restricted. This means that loved ones often must choose who gets to go, resulting in heartbreaking decisions. These limitations can exacerbate the feeling of isolation for those behind bars, making an already difficult situation even more challenging. Limited visitation rights can make the experience even more challenging for everyone involved. At number 8, we have the waiting game. It's a test of endurance that starts from the moment you step foot into a prison facility. The process of visiting a loved one in prison isn't as simple as walking in and sitting down for a chat. It's a long, drawn-out process, often filled with multiple security checks. These checks, while necessary for safety, can lead to hours of waiting. Every visit begins with the initial security screening, a meticulous process that can take a significant amount of time. But the waiting doesn't end there. After the screening, there's more waiting. Waiting for the prison staff to escort you to the visitation area, waiting for the inmate to be brought out, waiting to finally share a moment with your loved one. Each step in this process is a ticking clock, turning minutes into hours. These long periods of waiting can become a real test of patience and a source of anxiety, making the entire experience all the more challenging. Waiting can be a test of patience and a source of anxiety. Number 7 on our list is the emotional stress attached to prison visits. Imagine the heart-wrenching moment of seeing someone you care about confined and changed. It's not just about visiting a loved one in a prison, it's about witnessing their transformation, often for the worse, and feeling powerless to help. These visits can leave visitors grappling with a wide array of emotions: sadness, anger, guilt, and even shame. You might find yourself asking, why did they do it? Or, could I have done something to prevent this? These nagging questions can lead to sleepless nights and a sense of despair. And let's not forget the mental health implications, the stress, the anxiety, the depression. It can all accumulate, impacting your daily life and relationships. It's a struggle that goes beyond the physical barriers of prison walls, one that's often overlooked but deeply felt. Emotional stress is a silent but significant struggle faced during prison visits. At number 6, we come to communication barriers. These barriers can turn a simple visit into a complex challenge. Imagine trying to have a heartfelt conversation with a loved one, but instead of sitting face to face, you're talking through a thick glass pane or over a static-filled phone line. The lack of physical proximity can make it difficult to express emotions and sentiments in a meaningful way. Additionally, privacy, a basic element of any conversation, is often compromised. Every word spoken, every emotion shared, is under the watchful eyes and ears of prison guards. This surveillance can limit the depth and honesty of conversations, adding an additional layer of strain to an already tense situation. On top of this, the restrictions on physical contact can be heartbreaking. A comforting hug, a reassuring hand squeeze, these simple gestures of affection are prohibited, making the physical distance even more palpable. Communication barriers can make a prison visit a frustrating experience. Halfway through our list at number 5, we have security measures. These are necessary for maintaining order and safety within a prison, but they can add an extra burden for visitors. From the moment you step into a prison facility, you're subjected to stringent checks that can feel intrusive and at times downright humiliating. Imagine being patted down, having your belongings scanned, and walking through metal detectors, all under the watchful eyes of stern-faced guards. This process is not only time-consuming but can also leave visitors feeling as if they're the ones being scrutinized as potential criminals. Even when you've passed through these checks, there's a constant surveillance that can make the visit feel less like a moment of connection and more like an interrogation. These security measures, while necessary, can create a daunting atmosphere that adds another layer of difficulty to an already challenging experience. Security measures, necessary as they may be, add another layer of difficulty to prison visits. Struggle number 4 is about children visits. When a parent is incarcerated, the ripple effect on their children is profound. It's a daunting challenge to explain why mommy or daddy can't come home. The confusion, the questions, the tears, it's a heart-wrenching conversation that leaves an indelible mark on a child's psyche. Then comes the visit itself. The sterile environment, the cold metal chairs, the guards, the rules. It's a world far removed from a child's playground. The emotional impact on the child is hard to quantify, but it's there, lurking beneath the surface. The biggest challenge, however, is maintaining the parent-child relationship. Visits are often brief and infrequent, making it hard to nurture the bond that's so crucial for a child's development. The conversations are stilted, the hugs are supervised, the goodbyes are tearful. It's a struggle that's as real as it's heartbreaking. The struggle of children visits is a heart-wrenching aspect of prison visitations. Coming in at number 3 is the financial burden. Often overlooked, the cost factor plays a significant role in the struggles of visiting inmates. Let's break it down. First, there's the cost of travel. Many prisons are located in remote areas, far from city centers. This means family and friends may need to embark on long, expensive journeys to reach their loved ones. Next, let's consider accommodation. With visitation hours often limited to specific days and times, overnight stays become a necessity for those traveling from afar. The cost of hotels or other lodging options can quickly add up, creating a hefty financial load. Then there are the less obvious costs. These could include missed workdays, childcare expenses, and even the cost of maintaining communication with the inmate through phone calls or emails. All these expenses can make visiting a financial challenge. The financial burden can make prison visits a struggle for many. At number 2, we have rejection and disappointment. The journey of prison visitation is often riddled with roadblocks, and one of the most bitter pills to swallow comes in the form of denied visitation rights. Imagine making the long trek, preparing yourself emotionally, only to be told at the last moment that you can't see your loved one. It's a punch to the gut that can leave you feeling frustrated and helpless. Then there are the canceled visits. After weeks, maybe months of anticipation, a last-minute cancellation can feel like a rug pulled from under your feet. The disappointment is palpable, the emotional toll significant. These experiences can make each prison visit a potential emotional minefield. The unpredictability, the lack of control, the constant emotional roller coaster, it's a struggle that many face but few understand. It's not just about the physical distance or the cold, hard bars. It's about the rejection, the disappointment, the emotional highs and lows that come with each visit. Rejection and disappointment can make each prison visit a potential emotional minefield. Finally, at number 1, the most significant struggle is maintaining relationships. Imagine trying to uphold a bond with a loved one when they're confined behind bars. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you grasp, the more it slips through your fingers. The emotional toll is immense, almost like an invisible weight pressing down constantly. It's not just about the physical distance or the stringent security measures. It's about the constant reminder of their absence at family dinners, the empty chair during holiday celebrations, and the silent phone that rarely rings. It's about the strain on family bonds stretched thin like a rubber band about to snap. Each prison visit is a reminder of the harsh realities and the difficulties of maintaining relationships with inmates. It's a testament to the strength of human bonds, the resilience of love, and the power of hope. But it's also a struggle, a constant uphill battle. Maintaining relationships is the hardest struggle faced during prison visits. So there you have it, the top 10 struggles faced during prison visits. We've journeyed through the miles of distance and travel, looked into the limited visitation rights that can often feel like barriers themselves. We've sat in the waiting rooms, feeling the tick-tock of the clock as it amplifies the emotional stress. We've faced the communication barriers, the glass walls, and the monitored phone calls. We've seen the stringent security measures, the pat-downs, and metal detectors. We've witnessed the innocence of children visits, their laughs echoing in the stark prison halls. We've felt the financial burden, the toll it takes on wallets and hearts alike. We've experienced the sting of rejection and disappointment, and the struggle to maintain relationships in such circumstances. These struggles are real, and they're faced by countless individuals every day. It's a testament to human resilience, the strength of love and connection. Remember, behind every prison visit there is a story of struggle and resilience.